All right, we're entering into the back side of the house, which is the kitchen area. And the first thing you might notice is the floor. It was made to look like it was old brick, like you would find in older homes. It actually was a thin cut brick, about 5/8 of an inch thick, set in a masonry wet bed. And then as you look at the cabinets, they were all built custom by a woodworker down in Mendenhall. And some of the things we added in here to make it look old would be the way we built this big hearth where the actual range hood is mounted up under. That was made to look like an older style kitchen that you would find in the older homes. And we also did that type of work by rounding all the corners in the whole house. You'll see all rounded corners and archways. And that was all done actually with special bead that applies right to the drywall. And then you also see this center island was just a table, and we had to figure out how to properly plumb it underneath so that it looked good, and it's all copper, and that was part of the challenge. And this was a fun room to do, and you can see the fireplace took a tremendous amount of work with the beautiful stonework that was done, the archways, the crown moldings. We've got built-in bookcases. We built all of them in our shop and brought them in and installed them, scribed them around all of the stone. And then we had a big firebox. It was hard to find dampers to fit it. It's such a large firebox. It was to be the walk-in type. And once again, these little benches were built by a company out in Mendenhall. All of the brickwork has what they call a grapevine joint on it. There was a bit of a challenge because the homeowner wanted to have a wood beam across the fireplace, so we had to plaster the underside of it for fireproofing reasons, but I think it came out to be quite a nice look. Okay, the entire first floor flooring, aside from the brick, was what was called center cut pine flooring we got up in New England. And what it was is each board was cut from the center of a tree. And you could tell that when you looked at the end grain, and the purpose for that was it made it more stable of a floor. It's a wide plank floor, and then we applied 4 coats of a tung oil finish on it to give you this look. And I think it came up very nice. In this sitting room, we actually got this mantelpiece. The homeowner got this mantelpiece from an older home in Philadelphia. And then we built this fireplace and stuccoed it. It actually does not function as a fireplace. It was just built. I actually formed it in plywood, and we covered it and stuccoed it. We got the brick look, the fireplace look, once again to match different periods of architecture. Okay, all of the trim work in here is all wood trim work. We did all this on site. All the baseboards, all the door trims were all joined and glued and sanded to be tight joints. And then in this hallway here, once again, we wanted to have the effect that a portion of the house was added on, and that at one time had been an exterior wall. So it's an all brick, and that's also actually a thin set brick that we set over a masonry board, and gave it the same grapevine joint that we had on the real brick. You can see all this hardware had the oil rubbed bronze hardware with the wood knobs. Now, one thing that we did with the exterior walls on the first floor is we actually made a double 2x6 wall, and the purpose was to give us the deep windowsills and the deep side walls, so that you had the look of it being a stone wall. So on the outside we had the stucco that made it appear to be over top of stone, and on the inside we gave the depth of these walls to make them look as though they were stone walls, but they actually were just framed walls that we had doubled up to make a deeper, heavier window sill. Now in this foyer, one of the problems we came up with in the beginning was the architect had wanted to try to put winders up the steps, which are pie-shaped treads, and it's very difficult to get a winder that is code compliant because of the minimum depth of a tread. So we ended up designing and installing and actually building on site the circular stairs that run up 3 floors. All of the rails were built on site. It's all walnut. And as much of a challenge as building the steps was building the underside and drywalling it and making it come out the way it came out. So we were real pleased with the way that came out. And the second floor, which is the roof of the porch we looked at, the back porch, is the balcony area that comes off of the master bedroom. This floor product is called Acromax. It doesn't look too pretty right now because it's sturdy, but it's a great surface for a flat roof that you can actually walk on. There's very few products out there that you can walk on. You're not supposed to walk on the rubber roofs, different types of flat roofs, but this is a paint-on product. They've had a lot of success. They use it in the balconies down at the beach a lot, so it holds up very well. As you come around here, you'll see that there actually was a back entrance into the master bedroom off of the main set of steps. We've got a 3/8" piece of plate glass here. The shower was large enough with the dual heads that they didn't need a door, and they like that open effect. And we have this window well where you can look down onto the family room, onto the great room. You can see a nice view of all the work that was done down there. And then we have 2 rooms up here, and as you look out the windows from outside, these are the actual dormer windows. So you really get a full three floors out of the house, 3 full floors.